Hello, everyone. Welcome back to today's another live session. And we'll be dealing with reading module.
Welcome again. It's Ms. Nageshwari Vivek expressing a heartfelt welcome to all our viewers for the successful sessions of YouTube live classes. And as Dr. Anusha has already told, we'll be dealing with reading. And it was a request from many of our viewers. Few of them did message us personally to have a session on reading. So today we are dedicating this session for such candidates, and we will be in depth dealing with how to deal with part A.
Yes.
And we'll work out with part B as well.
Yes, we will be looking at samples of part A and part B. And it's just that we'll be giving you a few tips on how to go about part A because time is a very important factor, as you know, in all these modules. But nevertheless, in reading, especially in reading, how do we score out of out? That is, how do we score 20 out of 20 in part A? That will be the topic for today's discussion. And apart from that, we will also be looking at a sample of part B. And we would love to hear your, comments, ideas, and insights into this as we go through the module. And also, please don't forget to drop in your comments in the live chat box. Any queries related to classes can be posted here, and our team will get back to you immediately.
Yes. Please use the chat box to share us your thoughts or feedback or information, or if you have any doubts, so that we will be answering it.
So, well, good afternoon, Jansi. Thank you. Well, Toby, hi. Yes, well, we are seeing some viewers messaging us, and it's really nice to see them again back for the session. And this shows how interested and goal oriented you all are with regard to clearing the OET exam. And it's never late to keep telling you or to repeat this line, which says, stay focused, determined, and never lose hope. That's important. Stay positive. See, OET is an exam which can be cleared in your first attempt if you're using the strategies properly. So make sure you're using the strategies and also discuss with your trainer your weak points and what you'd like to improve on. They'll be the best. They'll be the best person to tell you where you're going wrong, and if you tweak it, I think you'll be good to go.
So consistent practice is what going to help you, and nothing is impossible. Keep that in mind. You will be able to clear it in your first attempt.
Yes. So let's just start the class for today. Are you ready?
Are you ready? You can drop in an S if you are ready.
Toby says yes. Well, yes, let's just start. So what is the reading module all about? An overview of what reading is. To tell you, we have three parts in reading, part A, part B, and part C. And you should also know that the time limit is set in the exam. So for part A, you get 15 minutes to answer 20 questions. And for part B and C put together, you'll be getting 45 minutes, so 60 minutes in total.
Yes. So part A, you will have questions 1 to 20. And you'll have 4 texts all related to one common topic, and that will be followed by 20 questions where we'll be dealing with that in the next few slides. And when it comes to part B and part C, it is all multiple choice based. Part B will have the paragraph questions followed with 3 options. And in part C, you'll have 2 extracts with 8 questions each. And you will have 4 options for each question. So you have to keep one thing in mind. You have to choose one of the best option as the answer. So I think by this time, our viewers would have got complete knowledge about the scoring rules as well.
Yes.
So I think
we'll be moving on to the
yes.
To our topic in question today.
So this particular slide talks about how to register to the exam and how many times the test is offered, and it talks about the validity above the OET certificate.
So please note that the certificate is valid for 2 years and the exam is offered twice a month, that is 24 times a year at test centers around the world. You can always visit OET.com, the official website, for more details regarding the test dates and for booking the test as well.
Yes. So moving forward.
So let's just look at this. Now you see the reading module part A, the test format and tips is what we are going to deal with today. So it is a timed test that assesses your ability to read and understand healthcare related text quickly and accurately. So this is the gist of it.
It consists of 4 texts, as I've already mentioned, on a single topic and 20 questions in 3 types. And the 3 types of questions does include matchmaking or matching, short answer, sentence completion.
Yes.
So in the next few slides, we will be dealing with exactly how the tasks have been framed.
So these texts here.
This slide talks about the structure of the test, especially part A. So it consists of 4 texts. They are the extracts from the reference materials commonly encountered in the healthcare settings.
So these 4 tests, you have 20 questions. The next point says 20 questions, which test your ability to locate specific information and record it accurately. Recording it accurately would mean, how do we answer these 20 questions? Are we supposed to change anything? Are there going to be, words that we have to change and, probably use a synonym? Well, no. As far as part A is concerned, please make sure that you are writing whatever is found in the main content. You're going to pick that up and write it if that's your answer. So these 20 questions are divided further into 1 to 7. You have questions like matching the line, the sentence, and in which text it appears. And you'll be answering it with only the letter of that text. So we will elaborate on that. And the remaining next, 1 to 7, if that is the matching type of questions. Next 8 to 14, you'll have sentence completion, or it can either be sentence completion or a short answer question. And the remaining, that is 15 to 20, will either be the sentence completion, fill in the blank, or it would be short answer question. So you can just keep it on the whole. 1 to 7 would be matching questions. 8 to 14 would be short answer questions. And 15 to 20 will be sentence completion questions, or fill up the blanks, as we generally call it.
Yes. Next comes the duration of the part A. So this is exclusively for part A, and the time or the duration of the test is 15 minutes. So you have to be a little quick with regard to this particular task. So this task requires you to work quickly and efficiently. And based on my experience, students always would say that part A is something that is difficult for them because they fail with the management of the time.
Yeah.
But what would we trainers suggest you is, please, whenever you work, it is always that you have to work with the time. That would definitely help. Moving forward.
So we skim for understanding the content that is right in front of us, because you have anywhere between 12 or 14 paragraphs. And sometimes you'll be given tabular data. You're not going to analyze this data as such, but you're going to look into the details. That is, you'll be locating the answers, right? So when you locate, what do you locate and how do I locate? How do I get through the task as such? So please make sure to quickly scan the titles of these texts. For example, part A, you have 4 texts, right? Text A, text B, text C, text D. Now, in these 4 texts, there would sometimes they will give you subheadings like precautions, or they may also talk about medications. They may talk about recognition, or how it is being controlled worldwide, some disease condition or some problem that they are talking about. So please make sure to quickly scan the titles to get an idea of what the entire topic is about. You will have the title there. That's not the issue, but then you'll have to understand the specifics.
Okay, and the next important thing is to read or notify that headings and subheadings.
Yeah.
So without forgetting, you have to read. So it is a common tendency that we neglect the headings. That shouldn't be done in this case. You have to read the headings, subheadings as well to understand the text structure and the key points. So in simple, if I have to say, I would say that don't leave anything unattended.
Yes.
Whatever it's printed has to be read.
Yes. Please don't think this may not be important. And, when you're marking your text, when you're underlining keywords that you found while scanning the text or skimming the lines, just make sure that you are doing it and answering all the questions. If you miss answering one question, keep in mind that you'll be losing approximately 12 points.
Yes.
That will be 11.9 to be accurate, but 12 approximately.
So that's why it's very important to attend all the questions. Attempting all questions is also important, because if you leave any questions unattended, straight away you are giving them or giving away 12 marks approximately.
And we don't want that, right?
Yes.
We don't want that. And every time you sit for an exam, the first attempt should be your best, and you should be clearing it in your first attempt. And that is also a possibility given your goal-oriented, disciplined, and organized in your studying habits.
Yes. And what about the sentences, introductory sentences? So these are the techniques of skimming. Why do you skim? What is the technique of skimming the texts would help you? It helps you in understanding. So when you look at the introductory sentences, so that helps in understanding or grasping the main idea of each portion or each section for that matter.
Yes. So, here we have also stated about bullet points and labels. So there are bullet points and labels on these visuals. So use them. Okay, use these points and labels to quickly identify important information. For example, coming to symptoms, they would have given you bullet points. Say there are 5 or 6 bullet points, and these symptoms may vary. It might be for the first stage, it might be for the final stage, or things like that. So you should not miss any detail is what we are telling you. So this will help identify important information very quickly. So if you guys are following the content, and if you're able to understand what we are telling you right now, please drop in a yes here in the chat box. And also, don't forget to type in your questions. We will be answering them simultaneously. So moving on to the next one, let us look into the details of the matching questions. So this question is, you will be answering this just like how you usually do match the following. So there will be a sentence that is given, and this sentence may be from one particular text. It might be found in text B, for instance, and you're going to just mention B in your answer. So where does this line? There is an instruction also given in the question paper. So just make sure that you're reading your instructions carefully before you start answering, and also make sure that you are able to find the exact sentence there in the text. And then you'll be marking it as either A, B, C, or D. So you're basically identifying the text in which that particular question line appears.
Well, in the short answer questions, you will be providing a brief answer. So it doesn't mean that you have to write a sentence long answer. Be very specific with regard to the word. It might be a word or a phrase, sometimes a number, and sometimes it might also be a symbol.
Yes. And it may be a combination of numbers and words. So please make sure, for example, you're writing the range, the blood pressure range, 180 mm of Hg, then you'll have to write the same thing. So make sure that you're writing the exact word and number as seen in the text. Please don't miss out on that, because if you're missing there, then you'll be losing a point. If the answer or your spelling is wrong, you will be losing a mark.
Yes. Well, in the sentence completion, you have to complete the sentence running, but fill in the blank kind. There will be a blank where you'll have to find the correct word or the phrase from the text, and you'll have to fill it in there.
Next, moving on to the next one would be short answer questions. Our next slide is about that, short answer questions.
So typically they are answers of 1 maximum to 3 words. So it is all about locating the answer in the text. The entire part A, for that matter, it's all about locating the answers. Correct. That's it. Nothing to think much, or nothing to think logically, or logical reasons will not come into place here. It's all about the connection between eyes and brain.
Yes. And you'll have to just make sure you're pretty quick at that. So how do we go about? We'll be talking to you. We'll be discussing that in detail rather. So here we have stated that you'll have to ensure that you put the exact word, phrase, or number as given in the text without changing it. Correct? That is how it goes. And this is an example of a short answer question. So here in the instruction, it says each answer may include words, numbers, or both. Right? So, for example, how many types of autoimmune diseases exist? So, your answer may be 13, or it might be 14, whatever it is, you're going to state the same thing here. Whatever you have seen in the text, the same thing will have to be stated as your answer.
Well, your prior knowledge will not come into use here. As of medical background, you would be familiar with the disease condition or the prevention or the vaccination, but don't use that prior knowledge that you are supposed to locate the answers from the text that is given to you. So nothing extra, nothing less. Okay. So next, in detail, when we look at the sentence completion questions. So as we have already told you, they provide a blank space and you'll have to fill in the correct word or phrase from the text to fill the gap. It's nothing but jot. It's something that we used to do, like fill in the blanks during our school days. Well, it would be just like this to look at. So those are the examples of floods where gluten is found. So you will write the exact word. Please keep that in mind. Just like short answer questions, you will be copying the answers right from the text without changing them.
So here we have a question from one of our viewers. And Ms. Arushi, how to fix the mistakes while typing? Well, if it is about typing, then we would have opted for a computer-based exam. Well, in that case, you'll have to be very careful when you're typing. That's the only thing we can tell you, because time is limited. And if you have opted for a pen and paper based exam, then it would be easier for you to erase it and change the spelling. But most of the students actually opt for pen and paper based exam. It depends on their comfortability also. And the other question we have is how to structure the answer before starting to answer. How do we structure an answer before we start answering all these questions? So a good question, you see, first you'll have to go through the questions, all right? And then you'll be skimming the lines of the paragraphs in front of you. So there, once you go through, quickly read through all these lines, then you'll be able to match it easily. Hope we have answered it for you. And also, if you have any questions, well, thank you. You're welcome. And if you have any questions,
please use the chat box to type your questions or queries.
So here, we've given an example. You are able to see this text on screen. So if the answer in the text is 170 by 100 mmHg, so make sure that you write 170 by 100 mmHg without any modifications to it. Or if the answer is over 80, you'll have to write it as over 80.
Well, Dr. Anusha, we have a query here which says, "What if the answer of or a question in the is paraphrased? How to solve this kind of question?"
Well, paraphrasing, you'll not find paraphrasing questions here in part A. Sorry, you'll be attempting such questions in part C. Okay, so as far as part A is concerned,
Well, sorry, we had some technical glitches.
Sorry for that. So, as far as Ms. Hilam's question here is concerned, I hope we have answered that about paraphrasing. And another question she has is how to locate the answer in seconds.
Skimming would help you.
It will. And also your reading speed is important.
And that miracle will not happen in a day.
Definitely.
Please make it a practice to read consistently. It might be medical journals, it might be a newspaper, anything in English would help.
Definitely.
So make it a practice. I think I can suggest an activity here where like you set a timer, like for example, for 1 minute, and every day read it louder and try to count the number of words. So every day the speed has to be increased. I think this consistent practice in reading aloud with the timer would definitely help.
We hope you're making a note of all this. And also, any questions are welcome right now. Please drop it here in the chat box.
When your reading speed is good, and definitely your scanning would be faster, or skimming would be faster for that matter, and you can locate answers in seconds.
Next, we are talking about keeping the answers short, right? So, what does keeping the answers short mean?
Well, writing nothing extra. Definitely, that would be one word answer. Definitely, and obviously the answers are usually brief. So don't write full sentences as your answers, but you will just pick up the right word that you would feel that this is the right answer, and you'll be writing it in the exam.
Yeah, in the previous slide, we also showed you about over 80, right? That is an example we gave for an answer. Make sure you're writing the same thing. And please avoid writing full sentences because that is not required. That is not the instruction given in the question.
Yes. Ramana MV has asked, what skills are evaluated? Your skill of finding the right answer. It's all about locating the answers. When it comes to part A, it is all about locating the answers. So that will be evaluated.
Yeah.
How good you are in locating the right answers.
And whether you're able to understand what is given in the task. Basically, are you able to follow the content in front of you? That is the skill that is evaluated, your comprehension skills. Of course, because if you need the right answer, you should understand what is given. So your comprehension skills will be evaluated, accuracy will be evaluated. So these are a few skills. We hope we've answered your question.
Yes. Well, how to write clearly. So that is one of the tips given there.
So it has to be legible. Please don't write your answer, erase it. And some of us have the habit of writing darkly. It's very dark with a dark pencil or a pen, and we just place stress on it and we write it, right? And please make sure that you are not erasing it once you've done that. Even if you are, make sure you're not writing it too dark. So this will it'll lose its clarity. It will not be legible at all. So you have to make sure that whatever you write is neatly written, the spelling is correct for the assessors to understand your answers. And let it all be in that line, right? Just don't leave a lot of gap in between the words. See, one thing that I'd like to state here is all of us are somehow losing touch with writing.
Yes.
So we don't write as we used to. So make sure that you're practicing your handwriting, trying to improve your handwriting. If it is not very legible or clear, please make sure to write at least a page of anything. It might be a short story, a newspaper article, probably your own stories that if you have the habit of writing a diary or anything, you can just copy and write it. You can practice with copywriting now and then. Please make sure to do that, and this will also help improve your handwriting and speed. Speed is important for the OET exam. So make sure you are really quick.
Yes. And management of time. This is very, very important. So you have to work quickly, efficiently.
Yes.
And what if you are stuck? Yes, Dr. Hamsha, I want you to answer this. What if there are some circumstances where you are stuck with the word? You might not understand. So what are you supposed to do?
Well, you have to quickly thaw your brain. If it's frozen, you have to quickly thaw your brain and get back to it because we cannot waste even a second when it comes to the reading task. See, we do get frozen at times in a particular question, but if at all, we have told you to move in the sequence. Yes, we have told you that. But if at all you get stuck in between, leave that question and move on to the next question. And immediately once you've done that, please come back and start answering the questions, but don't leave any question unanswered.
I hope you're able to see the screen. Please comment yes if you're able to view our slides. Well, sorry for some technical glitches. We are back with the test tips. And we were speaking about the management of time. And we did highlight that you have to be efficient, you have to be quick, moving on from difficult questions. So we did discuss that what if we are stuck? If you are stuck, don't get stuck over there. Please move forward because every single second counts. Every single time is money.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so please keep that in mind. And it is okay. It is okay if you don't understand some meanings. It's okay. You can try to understand the gist of the entire paragraphs.
Yes, that's correct. So, so next we will be talking about, well, we do have a question before that. We have a question by Lauren who's asking us, well, how can I improve on Part C? Well, Lauren will be answering that question next, but just make sure that you are looking at Part A right now. The reason is simple. You have 20 questions, and if you're scoring 20 on 20, then it would be easy for you to um, go up to a C plus by then. Like 350 is what is required, right? So if 350 is required for a B grade, so 20 into 11.9, let's do the math. You'll be around 240, and you'll just require a few more points to reach your target. So let us first concentrate on Part A, and we will definitely talk about Part C. We will be discussing in detail. Do you say?
Yes, probably in the next few weeks we will do that.
Yes.
We'll take it because today we are exclusively dealing with Part A, and we will do some exercises related to Part B as well. And Part A is always a scoring part. I don't know. Probably that's why we should not depend on somebody else's experience. It is quite often that we see students who say, "Ma'am, my friend attempted, he or she could not complete," or "I'm scared," because normally they say we cannot complete it in 15 minutes is a normal complaint that we hear to. Isn't it, Dr. Anusha?
Yes, very much. So please don't compare yourselves with what your friends are doing. See, listening to what they're saying, that's fine. Okay, just listen to it, and but don't get perturbed by the fact that they are able to complete 20 questions in 15 minutes and you're not. Well, you will be there. See, consistently, if you're practicing consistently, then in a week's time, you'll see your progress and you'll be able to complete all the 20 questions in 20 minutes. And you can easily score a 20 on 20.
And I think for most of the questions related to reading, the only answer will be consistent practice.
Practice, yes.
Consistent practice is what going to help you a lot.
Definitely. So along with that, we do have a few recommendations that will also, help with your scores. And one, as we've already said, to practice skill. So
next one is to scan. To have to practice the technique of scanning the text. So you have to scan to locate specific words. We've been repetitively saying that Part A is all about locating the answers. Mm-hmm. So you have to scan the text to look at the specific words and information as quickly as possible.
Yes. And also, why do we say start slow? So you may think, Mom, you just told us that we have to be very quick in answering, and you've also stated start slow. What is this about? Well, start slow, we are just trying to tell you to focus on understanding the instructions clearly. For example, some students who have not taken any training or who haven't spoken to their trainers, or they're practicing on their own. Sometimes they tend to miss out on the fact that you have to write only the text letter in for the first 7 questions, and they give elaborate answers, right?
Yes.
So please don't do this. And this is what we mean when we say understand the instructions properly. All right. And also look into what the question types are. So this is what we mean by start slow.
Along with these recommendations, there is one more recommendation. The most important one is to stay calm. Stay calm.
Yes.
Don't be anxious. So when you're too much anxious for that matter, you tend to make your work brain faster.
Yes.
So please start your exam with a calm mind. You have to be much calm and composed.
You have to be, because that's very important. If you need the right answers, please make sure to remain calm and very alert. Let us look at our next slide. Expeditious reading skills. So what are we talking about here? It is this is a skill which is crucial for scoring 20 on 20 in part A.
Yes.
Right? So improving the speed, we're talking about speed here, and also how you'll have to practice your skimming and scanning techniques to improve your ability to locate the answers.
Yes. Skimming, scanning, reading, a quick pace of, I was about to say the same thing. You have to read, you should be able to read it faster. So how do you get it? You will get it with the consistent practice.
Practice, and as ma'am has already already told you, please make sure that you're reading the newspapers, articles from medical journals, or short stories, anything of interest for you. Please read it. Set a timer and read it, and practice your speed reading skills.
It does not only help you to improve your speed, definitely it's going to help you in building up vocabulary.
Definitely.
Which is very important. All are interrelated.
They are. They very much are. See, if your vocabulary improves, then you'll be able to do well in the speaking module.
Efficiency. Yes.
You'll be able to do that. And once your vocabulary improves, then you will be able to answer part C. Lauren, I think that is one area that will
when you
discuss in detail.
Yes, and when you know more, you can speak good,
Yes.
With a consistent practice. All are interrelated, all four modules
Definitely
are interrelated. No matter whether it is English or Spanish or Italian, every language for that matter is, or definitely you can improve the skills only with listening to something of that language, reading that belongs to that something with that language, and writing and speaking.
Sure. So just keep yourselves, completely occupied. Listen to music, watch movies now and then, and also make sure to read. And
read journals, no?
Read journals.
That would help you.
Articles, anything that you find, and read it, and also practice speaking. Let go of the hesitation. One factor that we have also come across with students is how they hesitate to speak. If you want to learn a language, if you want to practice the same, make sure to speak it. Speak the language with your friends and family, or with yourself. Stand in front of the mirror and practice. This will not only improve your confidence, it will also help you improve on your, your speaking module. You'll be able to score well.
Yes.
These are a few pointers and tips. Moving on to developing more skills as we prepare to decode part A.
So you should be able to read and understand information quickly and accurately, as it is essential for providing efficient patient care. So this will help you develop while preparing for the OET reading part A. It does has its valuable importance in the healthcare workplace as well.
Yes, that's why we are stressing for you to read medical journals and healthcare related topics and articles. And here we are telling you that you'll have to use the exact same word or short phrase as you see in the text. Abbreviations are not allowed unless they appear in the text. We would like to bring your attention to this detail even in the writing module when we were initial sessions were on the writing module, right? And there, if you observe, we have told you not to use abbreviations in your letter. So the same rule is applicable for the reading module as well. Abbreviations are not allowed unless they appear in the text. Please keep that in mind.
And next important thing is to use correct spellings. The spellings are always there in the text, and you will be just copying it down. So you have to be very specific about the spelling. And one more thing that I have to stress here is sometimes your answer might be in the plural form. So you might think, what if I just miss? Yes, a just missing of S would be penalized.
Yes, you will. That will happen. So please make sure to write the word that you see in the text. And the next point that we have mentioned here is about the spelling variations. So British and American English spelling variations are accepted. For example, fetus with an O and the other fetus without an O, color with a U and the other color without an R. So these variations are accepted. But as we said, whatever appears in the text, please make sure to write it as it is. Now, this specific point can also be used in your listening module
as well as the writing module.
Yes, writing and listening. So these spelling variations are accepted and in the listening and writing modules. Let us look at the next one that we have be our students, our dear students. So we have a few students sharing their experience at Charkos, related to OET training.
Let's hear to them.
Definitely.
Hi, this is Shashwati, one of the successful OET candidates from Charkos. About Charkos, they are very excellent. They're providing good learning materials as well as their way of teaching is just amazing. They will help you to build your confidence as well all the tips so that you can face the examination with full of your confidence and without any doubts. I really will highly recommend Charkos for everyone and especially their teachers. My teachers, Nagashri ma'am and Anusha ma'am, they were just excellent for me. And I must wish you all the very best.
That was Shashwati. And now let us look at Manpreet's experience.
Hi, my name is Manpreet and I am from Punjab. And I came to know about Charkos from one of my friends. And I've been with touch with them since then, and I am applied through them. And now I'm working with one of the greatest hospitals in UK, and the experience is great. And they have even given me training for 10 days in Mysore for OSCE, and it was extensive training. And the teachers were so qualified, and they were so trained, and they have helped us study so well. Apart from that, when I came to UK, so the Charkos people helped me with all that process, and it was hassle free. And apart from that, they even have given me training for more 10 days in Swindon also. So I have received training for OSCE in Swindon as well. So then I've given my exam and I cleared it in first attempt. So the experience was really helpful, and these people have really helped me a lot. So if somebody wants to apply from Charkos, I'm gonna say that it is the best agency that you can apply through. So all the best.
Well, thank you, Manpreet.
Hello everyone, my name is Elhupui Panay. I am a nurse who had recently graduated last year. I joined OET from this year, January, and through the partnership of Mizoram OET Coaching Hub and Charkos Global. After several months of practice, I sat for my OET on 18th May 2024. Fortunately, by the grace of God and under the helpful guidance of our trainers, I am able to clear my exam on my first attempt. So I would like to give credit to all the competent trainers, and I am extremely grateful for their patience, sincerity, and dedication in helping us pursuing our dreams. Under their guidance, hopefully, I will be able to get a job as a registered nurse in the UK, not only in the UK, but also in Germany, Australia, and Middle East. Moreover, there are lots of benefits that we can get through this company, which is too many to mention right now. So I wish and encourage all interested to please contact them and let them help you like they helped me. Last but not the least, I would like to wish all the potential candidates a very best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zulfi, for your sweet words.
So let us now look into the module, right? We will just we will be sharing our screen with a sample text, and please make sure that you are taking a screenshot of the same and working with it.
I hope our screen is visible, and we will be now working out on part B. So I we have thought that like we have helped you a lot in preparing for the part A of reading module. Now we will be helping you out with part B. Okay, we request the audiences or the viewers to use the chat box to communicate to us. So we'll be discussing part B questions, and I hope you can read the questions on screen and we would like to answer you in the chat box.
And any questions that you have, please ask us right now, and we will be dealing with that right away. You can post it here in the chat box.
Oh, there you go. So, what do you think would be the answer for question number 21? So, it is something related to home visit guidelines. And the question says, according to the guidelines, nurses must advise the practice as soon as they get to the next home visit. Option B says, call the patient to confirm a time before they make a home visit. Option C says, inform fellow staff members when they return home from a home visit. Please read the paragraph carefully and answer in the chat box. Well, Dr. Anusha, could you please read the paragraph loudly?
Definitely. So the home visit guidelines here, it says the nurse will complete all consultation notes in the patient's home unless not appropriate prior to beginning the next consultation. With a focus on nurse safety, the nurse will call the practice at the end of each visit before progressing to the next home visit and will communicate any unexpected circumstances that may delay arrival back at the practice more than 1 hour. Calling from the patient's home to make a review appointment with the GP is sufficient and can help minimize time making phone calls. On return to the practice, the nurse will immediately advise staff members of their return. This time will be documented on the patient visit list, scanned and filed by administration staff. So, according to the guidelines stated here, what must the nurses do?
Yes, well, Priyanka has answered C. Option C. Harshavardhini has answered option C. Well, let us look at the paragraph in detail. So the question is, according to the guidelines, nurses must. What are they supposed to do? So whether they have to advise the practice, or they have to call the patient, or they have to inform the fellow staff members. When we look at the entire paragraph here, so there is something like this. See, it says, on return to the practice, the nurse will immediately advise staff members of their return. So that is where you can choose option 3 as your answer. Inform fellow members when they return from a home visit. Well, congratulations, Priyanka and Harshavardhini. You have given the right answer. Shall we move on to the next text, Dr. Anusha?
Yes, please.
Well, the question is, in progressive horizontal evacuation, option A says patients are evacuated through fireproof barriers, one floor at a time. Option B says patients who can't walk should not be moved until the fire is under control. Option C says patients are moved to the fireproof areas on the same level to safely wait for help. Right. Well, the paragraph goes like this. Progressive horizontal evacuation is the title of the paragraph, and it says the principle of progressive horizontal evacuation is that of moving occupants from an area affected by fire through a fire-resisting barrier to an adjoining area on the same level, designed to protect the occupants from the immediate dangers of fire and smoke. The occupants may remain there until the fire is dealt with and wait further assisted onward evacuation by staff to a similar adjoining area or to the nearest stairway. Should it become necessary to evacuate an entire story, this procedure should give sufficient time for non-ambulant and partially ambulant patients to be evacuated vertically
to a place of safety. All right. So the question is about in progressive horizontal evacuation, what is to be done? So here, if you look at these options, we have A, evacuated through fireproof barriers one floor at a time. B, patients who can't walk should not be moved until the fire is under control. C, patients are moved to the fireproof areas on the same level to safely wait for help. So can you quickly give us what your option is? What your answer is going to be? You can quickly type it here in the chat box.
Well, our viewers are super fast.
They say A. They've given A as an option and also C as an option. And in this case, if you look at the paragraph, we just want to bring your attention to this line. What is supposed to be done in progressive horizontal evacuation? Can you see this? You see this line, right? So let's just highlight this and look at how we are going to understand this particular statement. It says fire-resisting barrier to an adjoining area on the same level, designed to protect the occupants from the immediate dangers of fire and smoke, a refuge. So in progressive horizontal evacuation, what is done? The patients are moved to the fireproof areas on the same level to safely wait for help. So this is why if you see the line here, it says designed to protect occupants from the immediate dangers of fire and smoke. Fire resisting barrier is nothing but the fireproof areas. I think one of the students had here asked us about paraphrasing.
Yes.
So this is that we are. It is just explained. Fire resisting instead of fire resisting barrier. It is given as fireproof areas. The next question that we have.
We forgot to mention the answer. So option C would be the answer.
Yes, option C is the answer.
And Santosh, I hope now you are clear with the reasoning part of the paragraph. You had answered A, but A is not going to be the right answer. And I think we have justified that. And Harshvardhani, again, you're right. Congratulations on that.
Moving on to the next, it is the main purpose of the extract is to what? So the paragraph here is about proper disposal of animal waste. So as the paragraph goes, animal byproducts from healthcare, for example, research facilities, have specific legislative requirements for disposal and treatment. They are defined as entire bodies or parts of animals or products of animal origin not intended for human consumption, including ova, embryos, and semen. The animal are designed to prevent animal byproducts from presenting a risk to animal or public health through the transmission of disease. This aim is achieved by rules for the collection, transport, storage, handling, processing, and use or disposal of animal byproducts and placing on the market, export and transit of animal byproducts and certain products derived from them. So this is the paragraph.
And the options goes like this. Option A says provide information of the legal requirements for disposal of animal waste. Option B says provide information on which animal waste products can be recycled. Option C says define the meaning of animal byproducts for healthcare researchers. Well, viewers, you can use the chat box to guess your answers.
And the hint that we'll be giving you is
main purpose is the keyword.
Yes, that's there. So can you tell us your answer? You can type it here in the live chat box.
Well, one of the viewers has mentioned B as the answer. I'll just check out. So what does it say? The main purpose of the extract. So the paragraph starts like this. Animal byproducts from healthcare, for example, research facilities, have specific legislative requirements for disposal and treatment. So obviously, we are able to locate the answer in the beginning of the paragraph, which somehow justifies that option A would be the right answer. Provide information of the legal requirements for disposing of animal waste.
So shall I just mark it?
Yes, Santosh sent the answer as A, and yes, Santosh, you are right.
So this line very specifically states the main purpose of the extract. Santosh is right.
Well, this paragraph, it has two paragraphs in it, and it says cleaning and disinfection of endoscopes should be undertaken by trained staff in a dedicated room. Thorough cleaning with detergent remains the most important and first step in the process. Automated washer or disinfectors have become an essential part of the endoscopy unit. Machines must be reliable, effective, easy to use, and should prevent atmospheric pollution by the disinfectant if an irritating agent is used. Trucks of disinfectant should not be used unless containment or exhaust ventilated facilities are provided. Whenever possible, single-use or autoclavable accessories should be used. The risk of transfer of infection from inadequately decontaminated reusable items must be weighed against the cost. Reusing accessories labeled for single use will transfer legal liability for the safe performance of the product from the manufacturer to the user or his or her employers and should be avoided unless Department of Health criteria are met. Well, the question goes like this. According to the extract, what is the outcome of reusing medical equipment meant to be used once? Option A, the maker will take no legal responsibility for safety. Option B, endoscopy units will save time on equipment costs. Option C, there is a high incidence of cross infection. Just waiting for your answers. Oh, they're super smart. They've started answering option C as their answer. Hilang, Harshutini.
C, according to the extract. According to
outcome is what? Result?
What is the outcome of
Reusing equipment?
Equipment meant to be used once.
Well, the last few lines in the paragraph says, reusing accessories labeled for single use will transfer legal liability for the safe performance of the product from the manufacturer to the user or his or her employers and should be avoided unless Department of Health criteria are met. So it does say that the maker will take no legal responsibility for safety.
So this is about, the question is about the outcome of reusing medical equipment. And here in these lines, you also have the same thing, reusing accessories labeled for single use, right? Meant to be used once is nothing but single use. I hope you're able to follow this.
Yes, Santosh was right in this case. Santosh can answer easy.
Yeah. C is the answer. Good.
Shall I move on to the next?
Yes, please. So the next question we have here is, according to the extract, what is the purpose of the guidelines? This is very similar to the previous question that we have looked at, right? So here it says, Australia and New Zealand have the highest incidence of melanoma in the world. Comprehensive, up-to-date, evidence-based national guidelines for its management are therefore of great importance. Both countries have populations of predominantly Celtic origin, and in the course of day-to-day life, their citizens are inevitably subjected to high levels of solar UV exposure. These two factors are considered predominantly responsible for the very high incidence of melanoma or other skin cancers in the two nations. In Australia, melanoma is the third most common cancer in men and the fourth most common in women, with over 13,000 new cases and over 1,750 deaths each year. The purpose of evidence-based clinical guidelines for the management of any medical condition is to achieve early diagnosis whenever possible, make doctors and patients aware of the most effective treatment options, and minimize the financial burden on the health system by documenting investigations and therapies that are inappropriate. So again, the question we see, it says, according to the extract, what is the purpose of the guideline? So the purpose is your keyword. Please make sure that you're answering, keeping this in mind. And may we have your answers, please, here in the chat box. So out of the three options we have, option A says to present statistics on the incidence of melanoma in Australia and New Zealand. B, to support the early detection of melanoma and select the best treatments. C, to explain the causes of melanoma in populations of Celtic origin. So Virang answers.
Virang has answered B. Has chosen B as her right answer.
Santosh says A is the option.
Well, let us look at the right option then.
Yes, please.
See, there are a few lines at the ending of the paragraph which say the purpose. See, the key word, as already ma'am told, is to identify the purpose. And it clearly says the purpose of the evidence-based clinical guidance for the management of any medical condition is to achieve early diagnosis whenever possible, make doctors and patients aware of the most effective treatment options, and minimize the financial burden on the health system by documenting investigations and therapies that are inappropriate.
Yes.
So obviously, it helps to support early detection
of melanoma and select the best treatment. So the words that you see here, purpose of the guideline, you find it in the second part of this, of this content, and there we say. We see that it's given us to achieve early diagnosis. So early diagnosis is nothing but the early detection of melanoma and select best treatment. So we have an option here. Best treatments would be the most effective treatment options. Well, Ms. Halan, that's correct. B is correct.
Yes. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yes, please.
Well, it talks about reporting gifts and benefits. Employees must declare all non-token gifts which are offered, regardless of whether or not those gifts are accepted. If multiple gifts, benefits, or hospitality are received from the same donor by an employee, and the cumulative value of these is more than $50, then each individual gift, benefit, or hospitality event must be declared. The executive director of finance will be responsible for ensuring the gifts and benefits registered is subject to annual review by the audit committee. The review should include analysis for repetitive trends or patterns which may cause concern and require corrective and preventive action. The audit committee will receive a report at least annually on the administration and quality control of gifts, benefits, and hospitality policy, process, and register. Well, the options goes like this. What should the employers declare? Option A, every item received from one donor, each item from one donor valued at over $50. Option C, every item from one donor if the combined value is more than $50.
And while you answer this question, we have Mr. Ramana asking us, one doubt, is there any title or heading or subheading of the extract? Because the first question has the heading of the extract. Well, yes, as you see, all these paragraphs have the title before they start. So there is a subheading to this extract, and you'll find it in almost all the paragraphs in part B. So here it is reporting gifts and benefits. You would have seen it for the previous questions as well. So what should the answer be for question number 26?
La has replied C.
C has the answer.
Yes.
So please look at this line.
Santosh has also answered C as the right answer. Ramana, MV as C as answer. I think that should be right in majority.
So here we are marking the words should and declare. And what should be declared, right? So employees must declare what? So we are going to analyze based on that. So the line here that we'll be looking at is if multiple gifts, benefits, or hospitality are received from the same donor by an employee and the cumulative value of these is more than $50, then each individual individual gift, benefit, or hospitality event must be declared. So must be declared is placing emphasis on it. So should declare what? Should declare every item from one donor if the combined value is cumulative value is more than $50, then it should be declared. So yes,
Mr. Vinayak has also replied C as the answer. Well, all the viewers have given the right answer.
Correct.
I hope our session was helpful for them to identify their answers.
Hope this was of help, and also please make sure to subscribe to our channel for more such videos related to all the 4 modules, because we'll be decoding them and we will be helping you understand the pattern of each and every module, and so that you are able to clear your exam at the first attempt. Any questions related to classes, offline and online, may be posted here in the chat box, or you may also get back to our team and we will get back to you immediately. Right? And this is just a snippet of how the classes are. Please make sure to stay tuned for more classes on all the modules. Hope this session was helpful.
Yes. Well, with this, it is Nageshwar signing off.
And I'm Dr. Anusha.
See you in the next sessions. Stay tuned. As ma'am has already told, please stay tuned. Subscribe for our channel for the more updates. Thank you. Well, for the comprehensive training on all 4 modules of OET, that is reading, listening, writing, and speaking, you're welcome to join our online and offline classes, which are held both at Gurugram and Mysore as well. And you might find a link enough which directs you to the WhatsApp. You can join the group for more updates related like this. And we have one question, ma'am. Is there any strategy to find out answers without reading the extract? That is not possible at all.
Yes, you don't have any such strategies, right? There are no tricks for finding out the answers. It is just that you have to read it thoroughly. You'll have to read it once to understand what your options are, what the correct answer is.